students! Welcome back to our class. Today, we are going to talk about imagery. Last time, we discussed about figurative language. Aside from figurative language, another literary device that can be found in poetry is imagery. But first, what is imagery? In this lesson, we are going to discuss the definition of imagery, the kinds and examples of imagery. Imagery is a descriptive language that appeals to the senses in order to create an image or picture in a reader's mind. Writers use imagery to let the readers be involved in the story or poem. There are 5 kinds of imagery, and these are visual imagery, olfactory imagery, auditory imagery, gustatory imagery, and tactile imagery. First, let us discuss visual imagery. This is a kind of imagery that appeals to the sense of sight. Let us look at these examples. Number 1. She was tall. Her hair was a bit wavy. She wears a long flowing white dress and a fancy earring. In this sentence, the highlighted words tall, wavy, long flowing white dress, and fancy earring are examples of visual imagery because the writer wants the reader to picture out or imagine what the character looks like. Second example, the facade of the building was painted in an abstract with green, blue, red, and pink that really looks so confusing to the eye. The highlighted words abstract with green, blue, red, and pink are visual imagery. The second kind of imagery is olfactory imagery. This kind of imagery appeals to the sense of smell. Examples of olfactory imagery. Number 1. She smelled like sweet rose floating in the air, so relaxing and welcoming. In this sentence, the word sweet rose is the olfactory imagery. The writer wants the readers to imagine how the character smells. Next example, the aroma of Nanay's freshly cooked chicken adobo circled in the room that made my mouth salivating. In this sentence, the olfactory imagery is aroma. It lets the reader imagine the smell of the food. Next is auditory imagery. This kind of imagery appeals to the sense of hearing. Examples of auditory imagery. The loud bang of the door startled everyone in the house that made me jump off my seat. The auditory imagery in this sentence is loud bang. It lets the reader imagine the sound when the door slammed. Number 2. This creepy creaking floor is so disturbing I cannot even get some sleep. The auditory imagery creaking floor produces an image in the mind of the reader that helps them imagine the sound of the floor. Then we have gustatory imagery. This kind of imagery appeals to the sense of taste. Examples: the cotton candy slowly melted in my mouth and I can taste the sweet flavor of it. The gustatory imagery, sweet flavor, creates an image in the mind of the reader that helps them imagine the taste of the cotton candy. Mom prepared a savory tender steak with thick and rich sauce. In this sentence, the gustatory imagery, savory tender steak, creates an image in the mind of the reader that helps them imagine what is the taste of the steak. And then we have tactile imagery. This kind of imagery appeals to the sense of touch. Examples: number 1, I can feel the soft, curly fur of my pet. I just want to hug him. In this sentence, the tactile imagery, soft, curly fur, lets the reader imagine how you feel when you touch your pet. Number 2, I almost scream as I feel the burning charcoal from a barbecue grill accidentally dropped on my foot. In this sentence, the tactile imagery, burning charcoal, lets the reader imagine the intense feeling when the charcoal dropped on your foot. Before we end this lesson, let us first have a summary. We discussed about imagery. It is a descriptive language that appeals to our senses in order to create an image or picture in a reader's mind. We also discussed the different kinds of imagery: the visual, olfactory, auditory, gustatory, and tactile imagery. Now that you have learned figurative language and imagery, you can now wonder the beauty of poetry. See you next time! Thank you! Thank you for watching!
Click subscribe here at Teacher Wifi.